Welcome back to my video web series, Things Your Mama Never Told You. My name is Dawn. So, throughout my series, you guys have been getting to know me, so I'm going to get a little deeper, okay? So, at first, I wanted to name this chapter ABS and CBS, Angry Black Woman Syndrome, and Crazy Black Woman Syndrome. That's what my ex-Satan used to call me. But this is for all women, really. So I'm going to name it AWS/CWS. Angry Woman Syndrome, Crazy Woman Syndrome. Let me tell you why I named it like this. Well, I want to talk about my heartbreak. And it's real, okay? And I'm putting it out there because a lot of us women, when we get food, when we're heartbroken, when we get screwed over, dogged out, it is very embarrassing, and it's embarrassing and it's hurtful, and it takes you to a different place, and with every heartbreak, it chips away at you more and more. Now, I recently did another rebuttal to Kevin Samuels, to his minions, because honestly, the reason why I am doing this video web series is because, yes, I was heartbroken a lot, but honestly, a lot of that heartbreak I brought onto myself because I saw the truth, but I believed what the guys were telling me. So it's the whole thing about, oh, are you going to believe me or your lying eyes? You going to believe me or what you really see is the truth? So here goes. Like I told you in several chapters before, my husband and I've known him for like 30 years, okay? Now, we weren't a constant in each other's lives because, he did his thing. I moved away. We both had to grow up, go through something so that we can really appreciate each other. So, at the same time that he was trying to get at me when I was 19 and he was 20 years old, I was with a guy. He was my very first love. And I'm not just saying that he just broke my heart, but he ripped my heart out, stomped on it, handed it back to me, not once, but twice. So here's what happened. So when he and I first met, he has a child, and he was still with his son's mother. But he was telling everyone, including me, and was trying to convince me that they were no longer together. But like I said, my fault, because I wanted him so badly. Yeah, I don't know what it was about him, but I had to have him. And I was not trying to steal him away from his son's mother, because you can't steal anybody. But he was attracted to me. I was attracted to him. I loved our vibe. And he was my type. So, I made it clear that I wanted him. He made it clear he wanted me too. But he was still with his son's mother. And of course, she blamed me. And women, we need to stop blaming each other, because the truth is that he is the one who is feeding us what we want to hear, not reality, not the truth. It's what we want to hear. So I wanted to hear that they were no longer together. But if they were no longer together, then why would she go on attack? Why would she attack me? Why would she continually call my phone, harassing me, making prank phone calls, and really trying her best to make my life a living hell? And actually, she tried to physically attack me too. But, you know, he got in between. He made sure that I was not going to get hurt. So, and not all women are crazy, you know? Not all of them are crazy. Because I'm going to do another chapter on how to deal with the baby mother. So, but I wasn't going to deal with her because it's not my place. You know, he and I were dating and I fell in love with his son. But at 19 years old, I really had no business dealing with somebody who already had a kid because everybody asked me, are you sure you want to do this? Are you sure? Are you really sure? I'm like, yeah. Because, you know what, we want to give everybody a chance, but I wanted him badly. But he cheated on me quite a bit, and the first time he ripped out my heart and stomped on it and handed it back to me, he was sleeping with somebody else. Well, he was sleeping with several people, but of course I was in denial. That was me. But he slept with somebody else so much that he got her pregnant. And I tried to make it work, but I eventually walked away because, you know what, while he was trying to make it work with me, he was still sleeping with her. And it's the same scenario all over again. So then I ended up pulling myself out of that situation. And then they ended up being in a relationship together. So then the next person that I thought that I fell in love with, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, he was cute. And once again, his ex-girlfriend walked out on him, all that good stuff. So we started dating. He was really good. He was really kind. But I knew deep down inside something was up, and he's probably going to go back to his ex. But of course, I'm pursuing it, and he was pursuing me until one day I was at his apartment. We made love. He told me he loved me. I told him that I loved him. I came home to a message. I went to work, and I came home to a message. My mom sat me down and said, well, you know, I'm sorry to say this, but this guy called and he told me to tell you not to contact him anymore because he decided to get back with his ex-girlfriend. And I'm like, how could you do that, you know? And I thought that I was getting ready to go and trying to get him back, and I went through all kinds of emotions. I got on the train and I was excited. I was like, you know, once he sees me, he's gonna want me back and we're gonna get back together. And then my next emotion when I changed, the trip was too long. I wish at that time I was driving, but I went through all kind of range of emotions, keep switching trains, and I was like, by the time I got to the second train, I was sad and I was in tears, and I was like, how can he do this to me? Why would he do this to me? And then by the time I got to where he was, I was so enraged that I tore up his car. I'm not proud of that. It's not part of my proudest moments or anything, but I entirely lost my mind, and it was not a good look. So after him, I got with the guy who I moved to Miami with. Now, my ex that I moved to Miami with, he was different. Wasn't my type, but still extremely attractive. He was shorter than I like, and he didn't have the swag that I liked. But you know what? Like I said, I still found him attractive. And honestly, you know, two good people could be in a relationship, but not be good for each other. And that's what happened with us. We were on two different wavelengths. And honestly, I love him. He is a good guy, a very nice guy. But not every person that you deal with is meant to be your husband. So he was a decent boyfriend, but we made better friends. Okay, our friendship, we made way better friends than lovers or mates, and it's quite all right. And we figured it out a couple of years into the relationship, and it really wasn't like a dramatic or hard breakup. We realized that we just didn't belong together. Okay, I know he wanted to get back with me after a number of years, but I really enjoyed our friendship because he is a nice guy. He's very thoughtful. So he is great boyfriend material because of his thoughtfulness. He loves gifts. He puts a smile on your face. But when it comes to a real partnership, he's a great husband for someone else. Just not for me. He's just a great friend to me, and I love him for it. There is not a malicious bone in his body. So I always prayed for his happiness. He find the right person, and he did. And he's married, and he got married after a year after me. And honestly, I am extremely happy for him because he deserves happiness. He really does, because he is a very nice guy. But you know what? We just didn't belong together, and it's okay. So now, getting back to my first love, right? After myself and that guy broke up, and I was still living in Miami. I was in New York, and it was this stupid. It just looked like a black rom-com, romantic comedy, whatever. When I saw my first love in a supermarket, and we ran to each other, he picked me up. We held each other for a long time. He told me that he still loves me, and honestly, I don't think that I was in love with him. I think that I was in love with the idea of getting back with your first love. But, remember in one of my earlier chapters, you got to treat dating like you're looking for the right leading person in your life, or the right person to come into, the right partner to come into your own corporation. He just on the surface, he fit the bill, but deep down, he did not, because the young lady that he cheated on me with and got pregnant, they continued a relationship, but he ended up cheating on her with his first baby mother and got her pregnant. So they separated or whatever. So I honestly and truly thought that, okay, you know what, he probably didn't learn this lesson, but that's the things that go on in our minds, that, okay, he learned his lesson, blah, 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 whatever, because I saw what I wanted to see, not what the truth was. So I thought it was safe for me to assume that he was single, because he came down to Miami, spent a week with me. We spent Valentine's Day together. And remember in the beginning when I did my intro, I was so excited. I went to work. I worked at a restaurant, and I skipped in, and I was so happy, because I knew in my heart that me and my first love, we were going to get back together. And I skipped in and I said, hey, happy Valentine's Day, guys. This is a wonderful day. And everybody just growled at me, and they're like, F you. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I was like, oh God, okay. You know what? I'm going to take my happy ass somewhere else then. I'm going to go serve these tables and then go back to my man. So come to find out, he went back to New York. He blocked me. He changed his number. And because I'm calling, he wasn't answering. Come to find out, the woman that he cheated on me with, they were engaged. So I was like a last ride before they got married. And I did not know. I really did not know this. And I'm here thinking we're getting back together, but he went back to New York and married her. And that was so heartbreaking. That was so heartbreaking. And my self-esteem had dropped to its lowest point. Because if I wasn't so damaged, I would have never gotten with my ex Satan and stayed with him for 6 years. Because I don't know what within me made it okay for me to be with an abuser. But then again, knowledge is power. I didn't know I was being abused because he never hit me. He would threaten, but he never hit me, and I would threaten him back. He threatened to hit me, I threatened to kill him. But honestly, my ex-Satan, he was evil. He was short, he was ugly, he was broke, and he was evil. Because so many times, like, ultimately what made him evil was me. I'm the type of person, I'm a team player. You know what I wanted? I wanted the Jay-Z to my Beyonce. It's not the looks wise, it's just a partnership. I wanted the Jada and Will. I wanted the Angela Bassett, Courtney V bands. So basically, I gotta wrap this up. Stay tuned for chapter 2 on this chapter. Thank you. Bye-bye.